when my son-in-law looked me in the eyes across the Thanksgiving table and said, "There's no place for you here?" I swear, for a second, my whole world went silent. My fork froze in mid-air, my daughter's face turned pale, and everyone just stared. I was sitting there with a smile that suddenly felt glued on, surrounded by my own family, but I had never felt so unwanted, so small. I remember pushing back my chair, my heart pounding in my chest, and walking out without saying another word. But the next day, the next day, everything changed. And trust me when I say, he learned exactly what happens when you tell a mother she doesn't belong. Tell me, was I wrong for what I did next? Let me take you back a bit. I'm a 61-year-old woman, widowed for almost a decade. My husband, Tom, passed away suddenly from a heart attack. We were married for 35 years. Losing him broke something inside me, but what kept me going was my daughter, Emily. She was my light. After her father's death, we grew even closer. I helped her through college, her first apartment, even the wedding planning when she met David, her now husband. I'll be honest, I never fully clicked with David. He was polite enough in the beginning, but there was always a distance, like he was tolerating me rather than welcoming me. Still, for my daughter's happiness, I stayed cordial. I told myself, he's just shy, maybe protective of his space. But over time, that space started feeling like a wall. The first Thanksgiving after they got married, I invited them to my house. It was cozy, warm, filled with the smell of cinnamon and roasted turkey. I spent all day cooking their favorites. But halfway through dinner, David announced, "Next year, we'll host Thanksgiving at our place." He said it with a grin that didn't quite reach his eyes. I thought it was a nice gesture, so I agreed happily. I had no idea what that invitation would turn into. Fast forward to this year. Emily called me a week before Thanksgiving and said, "Mom, we're hosting this year. David's parents are coming too, and he wants to make it special." I was thrilled. I even baked my late husband's famous pumpkin pie, wrapped it up in foil, and drove 2 hours early just to help Emily set up. When I arrived, though, something felt off. David opened the door, but his smile was tight. He looked me up and down and said, "Oh, you're early." His tone wasn't welcoming, it was annoyed. I laughed it off, saying I just wanted to help. Inside, the house smelled of turkey and rosemary. There were decorations everywhere, but oddly, there was only one long dining table set for 10 people. I quickly noticed there wasn't an extra chair. I asked, "Do you want me to grab a chair from the kitchen?" David hesitated, glanced toward his mother, and said, "Actually, we didn't plan on extra seating." I blinked, confused. "Extra. I'm family," I said with a nervous chuckle. Emily rushed in, trying to ease the tension, saying, "Oh, Mom, it's just a small table, we'll make room." But I saw David's expression. Tight lips, narrowed eyes. He clearly didn't want me there. Throughout dinner, he kept making little comments. "Some people just don't know when to let the next generation take over," he joked, raising his glass while staring directly at me. His mother laughed. His father chuckled awkwardly, and my daughter's face flushed with embarrassment. I tried to stay quiet, but when he said, "You know, Emily told me how hard it's been cleaning up after you when you visit," I felt a lump in my throat. That wasn't true. I always made sure to clean up, to help, to never overstay my welcome. Emily whispered, "David, stop," but he just smirked. Then, after dessert, while everyone was sipping wine and chatting, I stood up to help clear the plates. That's when he said it. "You don't have to bother, Carol. There's no place for you here." Just like that, in front of everyone. The words hit like a slap. The room went silent. Even his parents froze. I looked at my daughter, hoping she'd defend me, but she just looked torn, like she didn't know what to do. My eyes burned, my throat tightened, and before anyone could say another word, I grabbed my coat and left. The drive home was a blur. My hands were shaking on the wheel. I couldn't believe I had just been humiliated like that in front of everyone. By my own son-in-law, no less. I kept asking myself, what did I do wrong? All I ever did was love my daughter, help her, support their marriage. That night, I barely slept. I sat in the dark. The uneaten pumpkin pie still sitting on my counter, and I cried. But the next morning, something inside me shifted. I decided I was done being treated like a burden. I'd been paying for their cell phone plan, contributing to their mortgage when Emily lost her job, even helped them furnish their house. And now this man tells me I don't belong. Fine, let's see how they manage without my help. Before I continue, let me ask you, if you were in my shoes, what would you have done? Would you have confronted him, cut them off, or just swallowed the pain for the sake of peace? Because I didn't sleep on it for long before I made my decision. Comment below what you'd have done, because this is where things really take a turn. The next morning, I called my bank and stopped all automatic transfers that went toward their mortgage. Then I called the phone company and removed them from my family plan. It wasn't done out of spite. It was self-respect. They were adults. They could handle their own bills. After that, I sent Emily a short text. I love you, but I won't be coming around for a while. Take care of yourself. No anger, no accusations, just a clean break. I spent the rest of that day cleaning my house, cooking for myself, and playing old records. For the first time in a long time, I felt strangely calm. Then, late that evening, my phone rang. It was Emily. Her voice was trembling. Mom, why did you cut the payments? The mortgage bounced. David's furious. I told her gently, because, sweetheart, apparently there's no place for me there. So there's no place for my money either. She went quiet for a long time before whispering, I didn't mean for it to go that far. I didn't stop him because I was scared of making things worse. That broke my heart. My daughter, scared in her own marriage. I could hear David yelling in the background, demanding to know if I was on the phone. She hung up quickly. The following week, Emily showed up at my house alone. She had tears in her eyes and a small overnight bag in her hand. Mom, she said, I can't do it anymore. He's been cruel, not just to you but to me too. She broke down, telling me about the controlling behavior, the constant criticism, and how he'd isolated her from most of her friends. My anger turned into sadness. I hugged her tightly and told her she could stay as long as she needed. A few days later, David called. His tone was dripping with arrogance. You really think cutting us off will teach me a lesson? You're pathetic, he sneered. I calmly replied, David, I don't need to teach you anything. Life will. Then I hung up. Turns out, karma didn't wait long. Within a month, Emily filed for separation. David's parents found out about his behavior and pulled back their support too. The house went up for sale, and suddenly, he was left alone to face the consequences of his own words. Emily started rebuilding her life, got a new apartment, a new job, even joined a therapy group. Slowly, she began smiling again. And every Thanksgiving since, we've made it our tradition to spend the day together. Just the two of us. We cook, we laugh, and we remember the good times. The first year after the fallout, she brought over a small pumpkin pie. She placed it on the table and said, For Dad. And for you, for always being here. That moment made all the pain worth it. Looking back, I don't regret walking out that day. I don't regret standing up for myself. Sometimes people mistake kindness for weakness. But there's a limit to how much disrespect you can take before your silence becomes permission for others to treat you badly. That Thanksgiving, I learned that self-respect isn't selfish. It's survival. If you've ever been made to feel like you don't belong in a place you helped build, remember, walking away isn't losing. It's choosing peace. So, what do you think? Was I wrong for leaving that night and cutting off support the next day? Let me know in the comments. Like this video if you think I did the right thing, and subscribe for more real life stories that make you think. And remember, sometimes the best revenge is simply living your life with dignity. I'll see you all in the next story.